It's the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com, and I'm Todd Leach, along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Simulcasting, and this is the second of two podcasts for this weekend. These, the races we're talking about, are all at Santa Anita, 4 graded stakes races headlined by the Grade 1 Gold Cup. And don't forget the other podcasts, taking a look at the stakes races at Churchill and Belmont and Prairie Meadows. Jim, let's start in the 6th race at Santa Anita on Saturday. It's the Grade 3 Senorita for 3-year-old fillies going a mile on the turf. And I thought this was a pretty wide-open affair. How did you see it?
Yeah, I think it is, too. I think you look at a lot of these horses that have specialized at 6.5 furlongs down the hill at Santa Anita, and sometimes that form doesn't transfer to the mile course. So a couple question marks here, especially for probably Avenge, who's been unbeatable on the 6.5 furlong course. So I like Avenge, the 8, but my pick, and it's going to be a theme here, I really like Joe Talamo's chances to have a big day at Santa Anita. He's one of my favorite jocks out there. And I like Long Hot Summer here. The 3 turf trials have been outstanding. Talamo's the only jock that's ever ridden her. And I think that she takes a move up from that 85 buyer that she won for fun in the obviously $80,000 class last time out. She was just very impressive. I went back and watched that race, and she was much the best. If she moves forward off that race, she got beat by Sheer Pleasure a couple back when she tried the dirt for the first time. So a lot of class there, and Phil D'Amato is doing very well at Santa Anita, almost a 30% trainer. I like Long Hot Summer quite a bit here, but I can also make a case for Curlin's Fox, the 4, who's got a lot of upside if she moves up from that 6.5 furlong win last time out. I can also make a case for Avenge, the 8. That's probably my key. Long Hot Summer, the 2 on top of the 4-8 with maybe everything in a try, because I think a lot of these horses get the money. But Long Hot Summer with Joe Talamo.
I took Curlin's Fox. I like the big improvement in the last race and the fact that the runner-up in that race came back to win. And I think I'll get a little bit of value here. Long Hot Summer's another one of the ones I would use with Curlin's Fox. Also Screaming Skylar and Avenge. And my pick for a win pick is going to be Curlin's Fox, but for an exacta, I'd just play a 4-horse box of all 4 of those, and you might get a little bit of a price or two. 7th race is a Grade 1, the Triple Bend, 7 furlongs for 3-year-olds and up. I went with Appealing Tail in here, giving away a little bit of class against some of these, but I like the turn back from the mile. It's like the steady improvement pattern. All 4 of his career wins have come at Santa Anita. Sahara Sky on his best day would win this, so I'd have to use him. Masochistic, the 5, and Santa Onofre, the 2. So 3 to win with 4, 5, and 2 in the exacta in the Triple Bend for me. What's your analysis of the Grade 1 Triple Bend?
I'm exactly with you. Joe Talamo on Appealing Tail. I told you I like Joe Talamo on almost all the races. And when you get a race that's a rematch, and Santa Onofre, Sahara Sky, and Masochistic finished right together in the Kona Gold. And, it's hard to separate those 3. So I took a look at the race with those 3 really trying to make a difference, and I really couldn't. I could make a case for Sahara Sky and Masochistic. So I took Appealing Tail because he hasn't raced against these other 3, and I'm thinking that race he had last out at Santa Anita was probably better than the Kona Gold, even though it was an optional claiming. So Appealing Tail is my pick. I would take those 3 underneath, and probably just a little $6 try with the 3 on top of the 2, 4, 5.
The 8th race is the first half of the combination of races for the Twitter tourney that you can follow on Twitter through Keeneland Select and have a chance to get a little bonus for your Keeneland Select account. You have to pick the winners of consecutive races, and the Royal Heroine is the first of the 2. It's the 8th race on the Santa Anita card on Saturday, and it's for fillies and mares 3 and up, going a mile, again also on the turf. Who did you like in here?
I think this is probably the best betting race that we're looking at Santa Anita. I think I could make a case for 4 or 5 horses here. Bling is my thing, the 1 horse. Just lost by 3/4 in the Grade 1 Gamely last time out. The same Fanaticola comes out of the same race. The 7 horse Bird Lover has lots of early speed, the 4, and I could make a case for her. But my pick is Queen of the Sand with Bejarano. Finished behind a lot of these at longer distances, but 3 for 6 at the mile. I think she might be able to track the speed and close. and I think the other horses that I mentioned may be a little bit better at a longer distance. Bird Lover looks good at a mile as well, but I'm thinking I'm going a little bit with the jock here. Bejarano seems to jump up in big races, and even though she didn't run well in Gamely, I think she bounces back here and turns the tables on a lot of these. So Queen of the Sand, you might get a little price on her too. So I'm going to take Queen of the Sand with Bejarano.
I took Bird Lover. I like the improvement, and looks like that she's in peak form and might still have a little more upside left. Well drawn, I thought, too, in the post position, down a little closer to the inside. So I'm going to try Bird Lover. I think she's won 3 of her last 4. I use her with Bling Is My Thing, the 1, the 3, Stormy Lucy, and the 6, Famous Alice. Bird Lover, those my pick in the Royal Heroine. And in the 9th race, it's the Gold Cup at Santa Anita, 1.25 miles for 3-year-olds and up. And nice big field here. Who'd you like, Jim?
It's really hard to call it the Gold Cup at Santa Anita. You still want to call it the Hollywood Gold Cup. And, of course, that's the race that they moved over to Santa Anita with the demise of Hollywood Park. I really like it's hard for me to believe that Catch a Flight is better than Moreno, but he was last time out. And he's 5 for 6 at the distance at 1.25 miles. And I know that, all those wins were in a foreign land, but he beat Moreno on the square last time out. And I don't see any reason why Moreno can win, because if you look at Moreno's record at Santa Anita, 0 for 9 with 5 seconds. At the distance, 0 for 7 with 3 seconds. So he always runs good, but he's never as good as Eric Guillot thinks he is. So I'm gonna think Moreno is going to get beat here, but Catch a Flight is my very lukewarm choice. I also think that Hoppertunity didn't run very well in Stephen Foster, but Baffert this week was saying that he really needed the race. He'd been off since February, and he's running him back in 2 weeks, which Bob doesn't do very often unless he's got a Triple Crown winner. So Hoppertunity looked so good to everybody's eyesight at Churchill, training with American Pharoah. And so I think Hoppertunity has a real shot here. I'm going to key Moreno second. I think he's going to run second again, and I'm going to key those two on top of him with a lot of horses underneath. I'm probably going to, if you put a gun to my head and said pick one, I would probably pick Hoppertunity, simply because I'm not convinced Catch a Flight is that good unless he beats him one more time. So Hoppertunity is my very lukewarm choice, but I think Catch a Flight has a big shot.
Catch a Flight is who I took. I like that 106 buyer last time, and he gets, I think, a good setup in here just to track the pace. And you mentioned Moreno's stats. I don't like him, especially at 1.25 miles. So I'm going to take a stand really against Moreno. I'm going to pick Catch a Flight. I'm going to use him with Hoppertunity. I'm going to use him with Finnegan's Wake, who I think has really, with the barn switch, has found his best form. And there wasn't much there on dirt, but that's been a long time ago. I think he's a better horse now. And I just think the 1.25 miles, he's a great fit for that. So, at what'll be a decent price, I'm going to use Finnegan's Wake. And then Ladarius, who's a big price, but I thought ran a much improved race last time, and I'm going to throw him in an exacta with Catch a Flight. But Catch a Flight's the win pick. Use him in exactas with the 6, 10, and 11, and probably much heavier on the 6 and 11 in those exactas. But Catch a Flight's the win pick for me, which should be a real entertaining from a betting and visual standpoint edition of the Gold Cup at Santa Anita. Best of luck with your wagers on Saturday. And for Jim Goodman, I'm Tom Leach. This is the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.